Hello again, Connect Leaders. It's Drew here with Pastor John.
Hey guys.
Yeah, he just said hi. He's
hi.
A very friendly guy. That's why he's a pastor. So, what we're talking about today is something that I would call the 4 hats a Connect Leader wears.
Woo.
I know, it's mysterious, isn't
title.
it? Woo, what's going to happen? I don't know, but something good's going to happen in the next few minutes.
That's right.
It's going to be cool. So, I love the word connect. Connect Leader is really cool. But I don't want you to be stuck in the thoughts that your only job is just purely connecting. If all we do is just connect, we're not going to be that effective. We're going to be very limited in how effective we are. So the first hat, though, is the connect hat. So connecting the people in your connect group to each other, connecting them to you, connecting them with God. They're all really important things. Definitely important roles, for a connect leader is that connection hat. But there are 3 other hats that we're going to talk about. It's going to be really cool. So the second hat is what I would call the assimilation hat. This is the hat that it may not be as glamorous, but it's so important. And it's all about having people understand the importance of making C3 their home church. So assimilating them into being part of our church family, which means they go from thinking that church is like a hotel to actually thinking that church is a home.
Great.
They actually plant themselves. Psalm 92 says, "Those who are planted in the house will flourish." It's pretty hard to flourish when you're not planted. A tree can't flourish if it's going to 3 different churches. Every 3 months it's changing. People are changing from one church to another. Unfortunately, those people never flourish, which is just a sad truth.
Yeah.
But those planted in the house will flourish. And as Connect Leaders, it's really our job to make sure that people are flourishing and making sure they're planted, they're assimilated, they're planted and established into our church. Is a really important thing.
Yeah.
The third hat is the pastoral hat. Now, a little disclaimer here: we're not saying that you should make a business card saying that you're an international pastor of the prophets. We're not saying that, but there is definitely a huge part of Connect Leadership, which is pastoral, right, John?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll have to throw away my business cards that says I'm an international prophet to the nations.
You're not an international prophet to the nations, John.
Dang it.
Sorry.
But anyways, yeah, the pastoral hat is huge, and it's and as we say at C3, that the Connect leaders are actually the first level of pastoral care. And what that means is basically that you're the first person that the people in your Connect group can go to for advice, for wisdom, to rejoice, to mourn. And that means that they can count on you when they're in a time of need or when they're in a time of celebration. So that's really what the pastoral hat is. It's more than just visiting people at the hospital, although that is very important, and we all need a shoulder to cry on every once in a while. But one of the things that you should understand about the pastoral hat is that you should also be not having to be the pastoral care person for your whole group. Right, Drew?
Right.
I mean, sometimes people connect with other people, and you can actually assign somebody in your group that you've raised up to actually go and care for somebody else in your group. Because God knows you can't respond to everything right, at the snap of a finger.
That's right. And the important thing too with pastoral care is just to remind yourself that you're not the Savior.
Right.
That Jesus is the Savior. We can't be anyone's Savior. If we're trying to be someone's Savior, we're actually taking the space that only Jesus can fill. So you're not called to be somebody's Savior at all, but you are called to point them to their Savior.
Very good.
It's really important.
Yeah,
so, and the 4th hat, John, this is probably my favorite hat. It's the best one.
What it is.
It's the 4th hat is the discipleship hat.
Yes.
And here at C3, we're all about discipleship. We love it. So, John, do you want to talk about that for a second?
Discipleship is essential. As we talked about previously, discipleship is really can be as simple as helping somebody follow Jesus. And what we want to do as disciples is reproduce ourselves. Discipleship is about reproduction. Jesus says, go into the world and make disciples. It's really go into the world and reproduce yourself. I've poured into you, now go pour into somebody else and have them go pour into somebody else. And the reason you guys are Connect leaders is because you've been poured into to a certain extent. You've become a disciple, and we want you to do the same thing and reproduce a bunch of mini yous all over C3.
Yes, exactly right.
Yes.
Mini me.
Mini yous.
You complete me. That's a good point, John.
Yeah.
And just while we're talking about reproduction,
Yeah.
It's important to know that you actually reproduce who you are. You
Very
don't
good.
reproduce what you know, you actually reproduce who you are. So be encouraged with that word. 4 hats that every Connect leader has to wear. So keep being awesome. Check out the Leadership Podcast. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon.